Hello everybody, thanks for watching. Let's have a look at some of these coins. So I'm not your financial advisor, it's not financial advice. We're just going to start by looking at Bitcoin. Then we're going to Matic, and then we're actually going to have a quick look at Kin. So stick around for that if you're interested. Right, so Bitcoin is actually right in the middle of a blue box sort of resistance zone, in the middle of 10,600 and 10,800. Now whichever way it wants to go from here, I mean obviously it can come down out of this box and test it on this, well, I mean the green 50 exponential is just here as well, so the bottom of the blue box might end up being relatively good support in the midterm, but if it breaks down then I would expect us to come back down. But because we're right in the middle of this area, I really want to see which way we break to then decide which if we have reversed the trend or not. I'm thinking that we might have actually reversed the trend. I'm not entirely sure yet. We might not be falling down, but it's very difficult to tell because we are right in the middle of a crucial zone. We kind of sort of technically on the short term, and this is just a 4-hourly chart, but on the short term each bounce made a higher high. Excuse me, I made a higher high, which is pretty significant. But when we stand back and have a look, we've also made higher highs on the daily, coming out of this big sort of consolidation really that we had. Now on the daily it looks like we're going to make a fresh cross to the up for a long-term change in trend, and these guys are all still pointing up as well, by the way, so that's actually still quite good. We'll go back to the 4-hourly though, because that usually, until very recently, it's actually been quite a good indicator of where we're going. So I would say that we did have a death cross here, but again it's Bitcoin, and a 4-hourly death cross probably doesn't really mean anything. It's certainly not done anything since it's happened other than the reverse, so let's discount that for the moment. Let's just have a look at these moving averages, which are all sort of bending up. We've got this green simple which has avoided a death cross as well, which is good. The green 50 exponential looks like it wants to make a fresh cross to the up, and that would signify a golden cross, so kind of rendering this whole business obsolete anyway. That's if we continue to go up anyway, just a little bit, or if we stay at this value, it might still happen. The 50 simple is coming down still, but will be probably sloping up if we carry on in this area. So really, it's a wait and see. It looks to me though, the way that we're failing to actually touch the 10,800 or break above it, that it actually might be a little stronger resistance than this might be support, even though we've got all these beneath it. But on the flip side, we do have higher highs, so and then a lot of other indicators do suggest that we're likely to go up. So I would say that if we do break above this 10,800, it's a definite sort of buy signal, and we're likely to be coming up above the 11,000, and then the next one support, I mean resistance that I would consider to be quite strong would be 11,200, and once that's broken, then it shouldn't be too difficult to regain our momentum anyway. I'm not going to say we're going to get up here anytime soon, but sort of build momentum, and sort of we could almost say that maybe the consolidation phase is over, but it all rests within this blue box territory over the next few days. So we'll leave that one there. We'll move to Matic. So we'll start by looking at on the tether value. So just a bit of recent history. We had quite a lot of movement off the Coinbase announcement, coming right up here, bouncing down here, so we've got a descending trend going down for resistance, and we had an upwards trend for support. We broke the support, but now we've broke the resistance. So what this has also avoided, if we continue with this price now and go up a little further, it's avoided what would have been a death cross on the 4-hourly, and Matic is a little more susceptible to that on this lower time frame, because it's a coin that's not been out a great deal of time. So really, when you look at it on the daily, you're not even going to be able to get death crosses or golden crosses on it. I mean, those indicators wouldn't be available to you because it's not that old. Yeah, we've avoided it here, and it looks like we might, because we've broken out of this descending trend, and we've only just done it, but we have broken out of it, might suggest a bit more movement to the up now. The market in general for alts is looking okay. Bitcoin could quite easily come back and steal the thunder from all the coins once again, and that's certainly a possibility. One good thing we really do have to remember is that this was brought out of an announcement. It's not realistic growth. It's FOMO. So for us to have formed this descending trend was kind of fine. I'm okay with that. But for us to break out of it at this point, is it actually a good thing? For us to have continued all the way down, back down to here, wouldn't have surprised me at all, because, like I say, this was based on FOMO. It's just FOMO. It's nothing more than FOMO, okay? So just bear that one in mind. There's nothing going on for Matic other than trading, and there's nothing more to Matic's trading than generally Binance. And so people like to FOMO in, and that's fine. There's FOMO across the board with all coins, but Matic is a big one for that. But those who follow my channel, I do believe this coin will do okay, more than okay in the long run. But it's not been utilised properly yet. So again, just to reiterate, if we can hold this value now off the back of a FOMO move, it's very promising for its price, because FOMO would suggest that we'd come back down to where we came from, when there's no substance behind it. Although it might be worth picking it up and holding it in case that FOMO was relevant when it comes to Coinbase actually listing Matic, and that would certainly be FOMO, but it would certainly help its price hold, more than hold, a higher level than where it is now. So yeah, bear all that in mind. But again, I'm not a financial advisor; it's not financial advice. So what are we likely to be doing here? So we've got a 0.01. We've got 1.55 cent area has been our most recent resistance level, and that's fine. And that's similar to where we were finding our supports and resistances around here. Our next real major one now that we've broken out of this trend is going to be this blue box. So anywhere from 1.6 cent all the way up to 1.75 cent. That area, if it were to be tested, I would expect a rejection, probably on its first pass. But if we were to break through it, the middle of it shouldn't be too difficult, but at the very top of it would be hard. That would be the 1.75 cent. And then once we've broken above there, if we do break above there, then we're probably not going to find much issue getting up to 2 cent. But when we do get to 2 cent, that's where we'll find our next rejection, and it will be a pretty hefty rejection. And that rejection really is because all the way back here we tested that 2 cent quite a few times before it actually broke down, and you see how it broke down here. It caused them a pretty big sell-off. So it's the equivalent of, if you look on Bitcoin's daily chart from back in the day, in the last bear trend anyway, that $6,000 mark was pretty relevant for it, because it was tested many times before it broke down, and then when it did break down, it really did break down for it. So it's actually quite similar, because Bitcoin broke down to like 3,000 before it found its bottom. That's 100% from that area. So if you think about it, if Matic's doing the same, we break down from 2 cent to all the way down to 1 cent. It's the same deal. So maybe we have found a bottom after all, and we can start to rebuild upon there. We just don't know really until the moment. But a lot of things ride on the back of that Coinbase announcement, and when the Coinbase announcement, if that comes through and Matic gets listed, then we can pretty much safely say that our bottom, wherever we are, would have been formed at that point, because there'll be more that the market will be open to people buying it for a long term, and there's a wallet for them to hold it in. On Coinbase, it's a cheap coin. I imagine it would attract quite a lot of attention, and also towards the end of the year, there's a lot of things coming out for Matic, like staking and their actual mainnet, and so the token will be in use case. But at the moment, it's very difficult to say if this is the actual bottom. This is the beginning of a new trend, and until the trend is at least a few days, or at least I'd say a week old, it's going to be very difficult to chart anything out, because we've simply just broken a trend, which means we're starting a new one, and I can't tell you where the new one's going to go. I can only really say where the resistances are and the supports are, and the supports are simply where we've been supported before. We're going to be flitting around a little bit with these moving averages. So the green 50 exponential, that's going to be around about 1.45 cent. We've got a 200 beneath that as well, so that'd be quite strong. So about 1.45 cent is going to be a pretty strong support for us. And our main sort of bottom one before the catastrophic falls take place is going to be on this 200 simple, and that's been sort of wavering around roughly about the 1.35 cent area. So that's where we stand with Matic. We'll have a quick look on Satoshi values. Satoshi's looking okay considering, but we are finding pretty significant resistance on the 145 Satoshis area. If that were to break, we would probably find our way up another 10 Satoshis, so about 155 Satoshis before we find a resistance on there. That would also be a resistance for us. And if we, for whatever reason, break above that area, then actually the main strongest sort of resistance is going to be around about 100 and between 100 and we'll say 172 to 176, that area. Now that would be a very strong one for us to break through. But if we did break through that one, that would be great. We'd be making our way back up to things like 200, 190 to 200 Satoshis. That's a long way away. If we were to come down, we're finding sort of mixed areas of support here with these moving averages. It's actually better to look at it on the tether. It makes a little more sense on the tether when it comes to supports. But resistances appear to be relatively clear on the Satoshi values. I'll be surprised if we came back down to test 126 Satoshis, or even get as low as 120 Satoshis. But anything's possible. Like I say, if Bitcoin makes these big moves up now, it will be really big moves. We might even be seeing Bitcoin doing maybe a 50% or more gain over the period of a few months, and obviously that money's going to come from somewhere. It would probably come from the alts, and at that point, with the dominance chart, when you look at Bitcoin dominance, we're not looking to see probably any kind of retracement until we get close to about 80%, really, if that were to happen. At the moment, we're about 78.5%, wavering around there. But I doubt it's going to retrace much further than that. 60, well, I don't know what I said then. 68%, I think, is where we are. 68.5%. All right, I'll just move on to my last little coin here, which is a bit of a guilty pleasure. A month or two ago, I made a video about how I've put a little bit of money into Kin as a bit of a gamble, and I wrote it off really shortly after I put that money in, because I bought it pretty much around about the level it's at now. It was around about roughly about 0.00002 is where I bought it at, so pretty much where it's at now, I'd say. But I sort of like forgot about it because it was only a few £100 that I put in. And then every now and then I do look at it and go, well, that's what you get for gambling. It was just getting lower and lower, so I just thought I'd just leave it, just forget about it. Anyway, something compelled me to have a look at it the other day, and it was the day after this big move. And I was like, oh my god, wow, that is a big move. It had gone up to 0.00003 and more actually in the space of an hour or so, and I was like, wow, that's big. Anyway, it started to do some big moves again yesterday, so I thought I'd quickly look at this chart and see if I can make heads or tails of it. Now that it looks like there might be a reversal in trend, but there probably isn't. Something happened to it, I don't know what, but someone's been buying a lot of Kin for whatever reason. The trading volume is usually pretty low on this, and it's a coin that's generally been written off. But I would say that looking at it now, we appear to be making our way above some of these moving averages. Now I don't know where it's gone now actually. Let me just pop it back in. I did have a 200 EMA that seems to have just disappeared off this chart. I don't know why. But when you look at it on the 4 hourly, where is it? Why can't we see that? No, it was there after all. Anyway, when you looked at it on the 4 hourly, I think we must be on a daily, yeah, that's why. And when we looked at it on the 4 hourly, it had made a golden cross. Obviously, because we had such a big move here, and it's been pretty much trending down for a very long period of time now. Very little movement, and pretty much no movement to the up, to be honest with you. Little peaks and troughs here and there, and this could quite easily be a peak, and there'll be another trough bringing us right back down there. Would not surprise me at all. But this was a very big move anyway, so we came all the way up to test this area of 300. No, the decimal points are so small, so I'm just going to say 0.000032. That's where we got stopped out, and that's where the wick hit. Okay, so what I would say is that now we've got this blue box here and this bigger one here of resistances if we were to ever make our way above here again. So the first one being 0.000024 to let's just say 2.5. Okay, that area would likely to have to be broken significantly, and not just with a wick. I'm talking with an actual candlestick. The candlestick needs to be above there, not just the wick testing it. If we get the wick going up above there, it's still a good sign, but it doesn't mean anything to me until the wick gets above there. When the wick gets above there and stays above there, then our real sort of move was going to be where this wick was stopped off at, the 0.000032. To up above here, which I'll just say 3.8. Okay, we had a huge sell-off when we broke 3.8 over this area, a huge sell-off, all the way down to actually, that was actually at the lowest low it ever had. And now that is a really big fall. If you think about how much that was, that is, what would that be? That would be like over 300% fall there. Over 300% fall. That's an incredible amount. So anyway, that would to me suggest that this area is a very difficult one to crack. Clearly this one was rejected there, but if we were to get above there again into this area, this is going to be a very hard one to break. 0.000038. And if we do get above there for whatever reason, I might consider this a true reversal in trend. But for the moment, it's very, very early days, and it could simply just be somebody stocking up on it, similar to what I did, but with a little bit more money, let's just say, than I did. Because it might have a decent future in it, it might not. It's a pure gamble, and I said that from the start. But it's looking a little promising now, so I just thought I'd add it to my little list of videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice evening, and take it easy.